another edition of the Sewing Guru. Now in the previous video I showed you how to get all of the measurements ready for the pattern construction of your tailored jacket. Now that you've done all your measurements, what you should have done is you should have written them down exactly as I did on your measurement sheet. Okay, so all of your measurements go down onto your measurement sheet, and then you have all your measurements ready for the manipulation of your pattern. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this particular video. We are going to prepare our pattern and get it ready so that it can go onto the toiling fabric and we can start cutting out our toile. So what you need to do first of all is you need to print off a garment sheet exactly like this. Now what it does is it starts off like that. It's blank and you can put all of your information and everything down on this sheet. Now of course this sheet is available within this video on the web page where this video is. Okay, so you can just print it off because it's a PDF exactly like your measurement sheet. Okay, and once you've printed it off, you can then put all of your information of the jackets that you're going to create on this sheet. Okay, now I will show you in more detail a little bit later on how I've done that and what I've put down on this sheet. So what you need as well, of course, is your pattern. Now I have my commercial pattern here, and it's a gents pattern by Vogue, and it is 2383. Okay, that's the code for the pattern, which is a Vogue pattern, and of course we're going to manipulate this pattern. Okay, so now that you've got all your things ready, we can go on to the next stage where we're going to start looking at our pattern and we're going to start manipulating that from our measurements. Okay, so the first thing what we need to do before we can start manipulating our pattern is we need to just create another sheet like this one here. Okay, now it's just a standard A4 white piece of paper. And what I've done is I've simply created 4 different columns on here. So the first column is the body part, okay, which refers to all of the different body parts that we have in conjunction with our measurement sheet here. So for instance, number 2 is back, neck to waist, which is exactly the same as here. We've got number 4, the chest, stomach, waist, hips, front waist length, arm length, which of course is our sleeve, our shoulder, both shoulders, and back width. And like I say, they correspond exactly to these measurements here. Now in the next column, what we've got to do is write your measurements that you've got from here in here. Okay, so write all of your measurements in this column here, so you can get your measurements from your measurement sheet here. Okay, so they're exactly the same, and you put them in this column here. The next column is pattern measurements. Now these are the actual measurements that our pattern is going to be or from here. Okay, so I will show you in a little while what we do with those. Okay, and those pattern measurements will go in there. Once we have our pattern measurements, we can then in this column write the difference between the 2 measurements. And though that difference will go in here, and that is how you manipulate then your pattern. When you've got your difference of the measurements, okay, so it might be +1 centimetre or +2 centimetres, you put that in this column here. Okay, so now that you've got that, okay, I said I was going to cover this sheet here. Now this sheet is next to the video within the page of this website. Okay, so it's your jacket sheet, alright, and it's the actual design that you're going to be doing for your jacket. Okay, now of course this is very personal because you're going to be designing it exactly how you want it. So as you can see, I've drawn various parts on here. So we've got here the shawl collar, I've got the 2 pockets at the front, 2 buttons, it shows you the sleeves with the amount of buttons on as well. I've got on here the sleeve length, okay? Now that sleeve length corresponds to your arm length, okay? So I've got here sleeve length 26 inches, okay? And my arm length is, here we are, number 9, 26 inches. So I've got that on there, okay? So that's like a garment measurement really. And on here we've got the back design. So we've got the collar, okay? Whether we've got vents in there or no vents, whatever. And of course here we've taken another measurement, which is going to be the centre back length of your jacket. So I've measured that from the top of the collar all the way down to the actual finished hem, okay? And my finished jacket length is going to be 30.5 inches in length, okay? So we'll be able to do that and manipulate that from our pattern as well later on. And then finally down here we've got our lining design. So we've got 3 inside pockets, and we're going to show how the design of the lining is there. On here we've got our fabric pieces, so we've got our lining here and the actual fabric I'm going to be using. And again, various measurements here and different notes. Like for instance here, I've put here side vents at the back and 3 inside pockets. And you can put more notes down here. Okay, so that basically is our jacket design sheet. So you need to just draw your design. It's really, really easy to do because most of the actual design is down here, so you're just filling in the gaps really with your design. So those are the sheets that you will be using in conjunction with your pattern.